Right now, as you hear these words, something inside you is waking up. Not a small shift, not a slow improvement, but a realization powerful enough to change the entire direction of your life. For too long, you've been convinced growth happens step by step, that change takes years, and that success is waiting far away. But what if that's not true? What if everything you want is already here, waiting for you to notice? Your future self isn't a stranger you'll meet years from now. They're not hidden in some distant version of time. They're real, present, and reaching toward you right now. They've already mastered the very challenges you're struggling with. They've already built the life you dream about. And they're trying to guide you in this moment if only you choose to listen. You've felt it before, haven't you? Those sudden bursts of clarity that seem to come out of nowhere. A decision you just knew was right without explanation. A gut feeling that turned out to be perfect timing. That wasn't luck. That wasn't chance. That was your future self whispering through the noise, showing you the way forward. And yet, most people ignore it. They brush off the signals. They doubt the voice inside them. They believe growth must be a grind, a fight, a never-ending battle. But here's the truth. Struggle isn't the requirement. Awareness is. The moment you recognize who you truly are, the rules change. Growth stops being about effort. It becomes about alignment. This is the moment you realize the version of you that you've been chasing isn't far away. They already exist. They're already living the life you crave. And right now, they are calling you to bridge the gap, to step into the same frequency, to stop delaying, to stop waiting, to stop believing you are incomplete. Think about the times when opportunity showed up at just the right second, when someone appeared in your life at the exact moment you needed them, when a door opened without warning. These weren't coincidences. These were alignments. They were signs that your future self has already mapped out the road. The guidance has always been there. You're only now beginning to recognize it. And that recognition is everything. Because once you accept that your growth isn't chained to time, you discover freedom. You realize that every breakthrough you've been waiting for can unfold now. Not in 10 years, not when you think you're ready, but right here in this exact moment. Your mind may resist. It may tell you this sounds impossible, that change must be hard, that it must take effort. But hasn't effort already exhausted you? Haven't you tried pushing, grinding, fighting, only to circle back to the same struggles? Maybe the very idea that growth takes years is the illusion keeping you stuck. What if instead of striving, you chose to receive? What if instead of waiting, you decided to align? Your future self is ready to show you the path, but they can only guide you if you stop clinging to the belief that you're not enough right now. This is where everything shifts. This is where growth accelerates. This is where you finally break free from the story that change has to be slow, painful, or uncertain. Because the truth is simple. You don't need to become someone new. You need to remember who you already are. You've noticed the patterns, haven't you? The strange timing, the little whispers, the way life sometimes seems to push you forward even when you weren't planning it. That's not coincidence. That's your future self. They've been signaling you all along, guiding you to notice the doors already open in front of you. Every time you felt pulled toward a choice you couldn't explain, every time a sudden insight lit up your mind without effort, every time your intuition nudged you toward a path that later proved right, those weren't accidents. They were transmissions, quiet but powerful, sent directly from the version of you who already knows the way. But here's the catch. Most people ignore the signals. They drown them out with noise. They doubt themselves. They think those flashes of clarity are random sparks. They don't realize these moments are the very keys to unlocking growth. They dismiss the guidance as imagination when it's actually instruction. And that's why they stay stuck. That's why years pass without real change. You don't have to live that way anymore. You don't have to keep repeating the same cycles, the same frustrations, the same struggles. You can break them. You can step into a different rhythm. You can align with the life your future self already created. And it begins the moment you decide to listen differently. Listening doesn't mean waiting in silence for a voice. It means noticing the patterns, paying attention to the nudges, honoring the instinct that tells you this is the right step even when logic disagrees. Because logic runs on what you know. Intuition runs on what you've already lived in another timeline. And that difference is everything. Growth doesn't always come through learning more. Sometimes it comes through remembering more. Remembering the wisdom that's already yours. Remembering the strength you've already carried. Remembering that your potential isn't ahead of you, it's within you. You don't grow into it. You uncover it. You allow it. You let it rise. Think back to the moments where you felt unstoppable. The times you surprised yourself with courage you didn't know you had. The times you solved problems without knowing how. That wasn't a lucky break. That was your higher self stepping in, pulling strength across time, showing you what's possible when you stop clinging to limits. And here's the truth no one tells you. You don't have to wait for rare moments of inspiration. You can create the conditions for it. You can open yourself daily to that flow. You can practice alignment until it feels natural, until it feels normal, until guidance is no longer the exception but the standard. How? By training your focus, by shifting your state, by choosing to be present enough to hear the signals. You see, most people live distracted. Their attention is scattered. Their mind jumps from fear of the past to worry about the future. And that noise blocks the signal. But when you center yourself, when you breathe, when you stay here, when you quiet the noise, the channel clears, and the guidance flows. Manifestation isn't magic, it's alignment. It's the act of syncing your current self with your future self. When the two connect, the path becomes clear. The timing unfolds naturally. The opportunities find you instead of you chasing them. The right people appear. The resources show up. The timing clicks. Not because you forced it, but because you finally stopped resisting it. But remember, alignment isn't passive. It's not sitting back waiting for miracles. It's engaging fully with the present moment as if the life you want is already yours. It's making choices from the frequency of someone who has already arrived. It's living now the way your future self lives, decisive, confident, focused. And when you do, the universe adjusts to match that version of you. That's the key, not effort, not struggle, alignment. Your future self doesn't need you to work harder. They need you to see clearer, to trust deeper, to recognize the guidance that's already moving through your life. Because once you do, growth stops being a climb. It becomes a shift, quick, direct, powerful. And it starts the moment you decide not to ignore the signals anymore. You already know what it feels like to struggle. You already know what it feels like to wait, to hope for change, to keep saying, one day. But here's the truth your future self needs you to see right now. One day doesn't exist. There is only today. There is only this moment. And this is the moment you choose who you are. Think about it. Every habit you repeat is shaping your future. Every choice you make is aligning you with one version of yourself or another. You are not just drifting, you are steering. And the direction you choose in small decisions becomes the life you end up living. That's why your future self is urging you now pay attention to the signals, because your next move matters more than you think. Growth isn't about waiting for some perfect timing. Growth is about claiming your timing now. Waiting is a trap. Waiting keeps you small. Waiting convinces you that you're missing something, that you're not ready, that life will somehow give you permission later. But permission never comes. Readiness never appears. You create both by moving forward in the present. Your future self doesn't hesitate. They don't wait for guarantees. They step. They act. They trust. And because they trust, doors open. Because they act, paths clear. Because they move, opportunities respond. That's the energy you must claim now if you want to collapse the gap between who you are and who you're meant to be. And here's the secret. You don't need to know the entire path. You don't need every detail. You just need to take the next step. That's how alignment works. One step, then the next, then the next. And as you keep moving, clarity arrives, guidance expands, momentum builds. What felt impossible begins to feel natural. You've seen this before. When you finally started the thing you'd been putting off, how quickly did momentum pick up? When you finally said yes to the opportunity, how fast did the support show up? The same truth applies here. Movement creates alignment. Waiting delays it. So how do you embody your future self every day? You start with simple shifts. Speak like them. Think like them. Choose like them. Ask yourself in every situation, what would the version of me who already succeeded do right now? Then do it. No hesitation, no delay, no excuses. Your mind may argue. It may remind you of past failures. It may flood you with fear. But fear is just a story. A story you've repeated so many times that it feels real. Your future self doesn't live in that story. They've already broken it. And now they're pulling you through it. But only you can choose to let go of the old narrative and step into the new one. Manifestation happens when your actions and beliefs align with the frequency of the life you want. When you believe you're already worthy, opportunities mirror that worth. When you act as if abundance is your natural state, abundance flows toward you. When you choose confidence instead of doubt, you attract people who recognize your value. This isn't theory. This is how energy and focus shape reality. Think about it. Every great leap you've ever taken started with a decision. A moment where you said, "Enough." A moment where you shifted from waiting to acting. That's manifestation in motion. That's how reality bends to match your choice. And you can do that every single day. Not once in a while, every day. This is why your future self is urging you not to skip this moment. Because they know what happens when you finally decide. They know how fast life shifts when you step into alignment. They know the relief you'll feel when you stop dragging the weight of doubt and finally allow yourself to rise. The choice is here. The timing is now. And the only question left is simple. Will you keep waiting for your future self, or will you finally become them today? This is it. The moment your future self has been waiting for. The reason you found these words. The reason you feel that pull inside you right now. Because this isn't just another motivational message. This is the turning point, the crossroads, the decision that changes everything. You can feel it, can't you? That quiet knowing that you've been preparing for this. Every setback, every disappointment, every long night of doubt. None of it was wasted. It was training. It was shaping you to handle this shift without breaking. It was building the strength you now need to step into alignment with your higher self. Your struggles were never signs of failure. They were signs of preparation. Proof that your future self knew exactly what you needed to experience in order to stand strong in this moment. Every challenge was part of the blueprint. Every obstacle was designed to sharpen you. And now, with all of that behind you, the path forward has never been clearer. So what happens when you finally step into this alignment? Life bends, reality responds. The things you thought would take years begin to unfold faster than you imagined. The people you need appear. The doors swing open. The opportunities align. And it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel impossible. It feels natural, because it was always meant for you. But here's the truth. This shift is not just about you. When you rise, others rise. When you align, you create space for others to do the same. Your energy becomes a signal, a ripple that awakens something in the people around you. They see you move and they remember that they can move too. They see you grow and they realize growth is possible for them. That's the power of alignment. It spreads, it multiplies, it ignites. Your future self knows this. They remember how crucial this moment was in their journey. They remember how saying yes to the shift didn't just change their life, it changed the lives of everyone connected to them. And now, they're urging you to take the same leap, to say yes, to stop waiting, to stop doubting, to stop shrinking into a version of yourself that was never meant to last. You already know what happens if you keep waiting. More of the same, more circles, more delay, but you also know what happens if you decide now. Growth accelerates, life expands, freedom becomes real. And deep down, you know that's what you've been craving all along. Not more waiting, not more hopping, but more living, more becoming, more alignment with the truth of who you are. So here's the invitation. Step into it. Step into the version of yourself who has already made it. Step into the mindset of the person who no longer doubts. Step into the energy of the self who already knows their worth. Because the moment you do, everything begins to change. And the change will be faster than you think. This is not the end. This is the beginning. The beginning of the life your future self has been urging you to claim. The beginning of clarity, of alignment, of strength. The beginning of living as if your potential is no longer distant but present, right here, right now. Your future self is waiting, and they're not far away. They are you, already whole, already capable, already thriving. The only step left is for you to recognize it and choose to live it. The shift begins now.